Hello everyone, welcome to my new video. In this video, we're going to talk about this new camera. This is Labpano Pilot One, and let's take it out. Boom, this is a 4 lenses, 1-shot 360 camera. So before making this video, I did do a lot of research on YouTube and found there are very few videos talking about these cameras. But actually, this is a very interesting camera and it has very huge potential in the 360 industry. You know that I am very interested in the 1-shot 360 photography, which is photo feature of this camera. I will definitely share with you my personal experience and my secret workflow behind this camera to achieve stunning photo quality. But I also think that it's my responsibility to share with you some other interesting features to introduce you to this camera in some other aspect, and you will get a very good and a very deep overview about this camera, about its potentials, and about its specifications. And in episode 2, I plan to show you my secret workflow that is a JPEG only workflow because the camera could only capture 8K JPEG photos. But even with 8K JPEG photos, we can also achieve very stunning photo quality due to its 4 lenses optic design. So in episode 2, I'm gonna share with you my workflow to get the very best imaging quality from this camera. And in episode 3, I'm gonna dive very deep into the feature Pilot Tour because the Pilot Tour is a very interesting selling point about this standalone 1-shot 360 camera. And also we can learn a lot about the video slam algorithm behind this technology. You're gonna learn a real-world example about the Pilot Tour as well as the math and some very interesting facts behind the video slam. My name is Yuqun Guo. Welcome to my Labpano Pilot One series. Before we dive deeper into the user interface, let's take a look at the industrial design about this camera. So first, it has an aluminum metal frame and 4 lenses. Each lenses have a field of view of 185 degrees. On top, we can see a Labpano logo, and on the bottom, there is 1/4" mount, and we also have a Type-C cable which could help you charge and also copy and paste the data inside the internal storage. And on this side we have a touchscreen and a home button, and this is running a Pilot OS, which is Android-based operating system inside this camera. And for each lens, you can see that it's not right in the middle of the camera. So next, let's dive right into the user interface. After power up the camera, we can see there are 4 apps pre-installed on the Pilot OS. There are camera, gallery, live, and settings. Okay, now let's go to the camera. In the camera, we can take photos or we can take videos, but we have more options on photo mode and video mode. We have photo mode, it's classical photo mode. You can take 360 photos with only 1 tap. And there's a time-lapse mode. The most interesting feature about this camera is the Pilot Tour mode. Now let's take a look at the photo mode. In the photo mode, you can see that there's a shutter button, and there is a mode button, and there's a settings. In the settings, you can change the resolution from 8K down to 2K. Okay, and scroll from left to right, and you can go back. Yes, and there are some more options in this. You can see the countdown timer. You can enable to have 3, 5, 10, or 15 seconds. Optical-Flow stitching will help you generate a better stitch result after you take the shot. So the camera will take 4 unstitched photos inside this camera as well as a stitch online with parameters with stitching focus. And you can also enable the Optical-Flow stitching after you take the shot back in the gallery menu. We are going to talk that later on. And if you set auto level, the camera will auto correct the horizontal line, a perfect straight photo directly from the camera despite any orientation of your camera. We have more precise control about this camera. So tap the HDR, you can turn it on or it off. When you turn on the HDR option, we have a yellow icon. And if you enable the Pro feature, we have even more options. For HDR, we can see we have auto, sunny, cloudy, and indoor. For photographers shooting virtual tours, I recommend you can shoot in indoor mode about HDR. So there are different combination of different explorer settings about each settings behind this Labpano. For the shutter speed about Pilot One, we only have limited options. The longest explorer time will be 15 seconds, and down to 15s, 100s, 500s, 1000s. Yeah, we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 value of export time, or we can leave it to auto. And for the ISO settings, there are lowest ISO will be 15 and the longest ISO will be 116. And for the exposure composition, we can go back to the -4 all the way up to the +4. So that is a very good option about the shooting mode. For the white balance, yeah, we don't have to talk about that. I think you're gonna know that if you're a photographer. Sometimes I will leave that stitching focus to the 2 meters, and sometimes I just don't want to change that. But if you shoot outdoors, you can set to infinity for the best online, the real-time stitching result. And we do have this one. This is GPS signal. So if you plug a GPS module inside the camera, I think you're gonna have a GPS signal. But now it's just an off. Okay, now let's talk about the time-lapse mode. The time-lapse mode of the Pilot One is also very interesting. So for the Pro settings, we only have ISO and exposure values and stitching focus. And for some other settings like this, we have up to 8K resolution, but this time this is Ultra HD. It's not a bigger 8K like photo. It's 8K video. SPF means seconds per frame, and MPF means minutes per frame. And you can speed up your time-lapse speed by a factor of the different options, right? And I have give you some reference before you take the shot. It depends how long you want the final result. And you can make a simple calculation and set appropriate scale rate. And if you shot turn on pilot steady, no matter you are holding a camera or you can shoot in fixed position, the final result will always be very stable. So there are 2 more options in the orientation button. And tap it, we have fix or follow cameras. For the fix, the camera algorithm will auto calibrate all the 3 angles, yaw, pitch, and roll. For follows cameras, the camera will only calibrate, compensate the pitch and roll, and follows the yaw. There is one more option, is Pilot Tour. And I will dive very deep into this feature in episode 3 of my Pilot One video series. Okay, now let's talk about the video mode. The Pilot One have 3 video mode. One of them is the stitched video. The other one is unstitched video with 4 fisheye videos saved into the internal storage. And the last one is the Google Street View video. With every frame will have a GPS metadata inside that video so that you can upload to Google Street View and generate the blue lines. For the unstitched video, the specification will be higher than the other videos. You can see that for the Pro settings, it's the same as the time-lapse video, right? ISO, exposure value, and the stitching focus. For the settings, we can see that the highest resolution is 8K 24 FPS, and they also have 7K and 6K 30 FPS and 4K 30 FPS. And for the countdown, yeah, sometimes you don't need to count down because you are shooting video, right? And to Pilot Steady, we enable that. It's the same as a time-lapse video. And for the orientation, we have 2 more options, fix or follow the camera. And the codec, we have H.264 or H.265. The H.265 will have a better compression rate with a smaller file size while retain the same quality as H.264. But shooting H.265, you need a more powerful computer to unpress, to decompose all the videos inside this file format. Every time you shoot an unstitched video, you can always stitch directly inside the camera in the gallery app. You don't have to stitch on the computer. Yeah, and next let's talk about the stitch video. So that in the stitch video mode, this camera will capture the stitched 360 shot in real time. So the parameters, the settings will be quite limited compared with the offline stitch, right? So the highest resolution will be 8K 7 FPS, 6K 15, or 4K 30, or 2K 30. And the other is the same as the unstitched video. So for stitch video, it will shot a stitched 8K video, then you can directly play it back on the screen. Okay, and now it's shooting 8K 7 FPS, and you can play it back. Yes, and we do have a Google Street View video. It says every frame will have embedded GPS metadata. So settings, it only have EV or stitching focus. And for settings, the frame rate is obey the rules of the Google standard. the 1 FPS, 2 FPS, 3, 4, up to 7, because the highest frame rate for the real-time stitching is 7 FPS. Okay, so that is all for the shooting mode inside this Pilot One camera. Okay, next let's go to the gallery menu, because in the gallery menu we do have a lot more options and a lot more interesting stuff I want to show you. Right here you can see I have taken a lot of photos and videos, and for every one of the photos you can see that we can go into that and view that directly inside the camera. Color precision on this touchscreen is very good. I can change the projection mode into the mirror ball, or it's rectangular, or little planet. The touch control is very fast and responsive. You can also delete this one, or you can share to the Google Drive or Dropbox directly. You connect with the Wi-Fi with the camera. And here is the more options. You can adjust the photos, right? You can adjust, there are some professional sliders. You can adjust the brightness, the gamma, the shadow, highlight, saturation, and temperature. And you can also turn before and after, such as, let me show you this one, before, after, before, after. So that is a very great design for the photographers if you want to go back and forth between different sliders. So it's just like a built-in camera raw for the camera to adjust your photo and get a very interesting result on the go, so without having to buy a computer. So this is a very good interesting feature about this camera. And you can also see the file info for all the things about the metadata, and you can convert the algorithm. You can convert to the classical geometric stitching into the optical flow stitching to have a better stitching result. So that is all about the gallery menu for the photos. And for the videos, as we can see that we just shot an 8K 24 FPS unstitched video. So you have to stitch before we play back. But with the real-time stitch 8K 7 FPS, we can see that the file size is smaller because the frame rate is lower than that one. But we can play that directly inside this camera, right? And sound quality is really good. It's very interesting, right? Okay, so let's try the online stitching. And we can see the specs behind this video. And the online stitching is also very fast, because it's a hardware level online stitch that will help you stitch 8K 24 FPS right inside this camera body. So you don't have to bring a laptop or a computer with you on your commercial shooting. And after that, you can see the 8K video very fast, very fluent playback directly on that screen. You can always stitch directly, and it's also being calibrated, right? So you don't have to stitch on the computer. This camera could stitch them. Right? Did you see that? Pilot tour, you can see I have shot a pilot tour like this. And for the pilot tour, not only can preview this image, but we can also upload directly to the Google Drive, Dropbox, or we can post directly to the Pilot Tour website. You can see I have already uploaded my Pilot Tour the website. So there's an icon indicating that this was done and directly upload to the website. This is also a Pilot Tour. For Pilot Tour, we do have an icon on the top left, top right of the case. And it's also being released to the public. So if it is unreleased to the public, share to, you can see an icon to share to a Pilot Tour. And when you are running the gallery app, you can see this. If you turn on optical flow stitching, the camera will auto stitch all the files back in the stage and converting the stitching into the from classic to the optical flow stitching, and it will done automatically one by one. But if you go to the desktop, it will pause the stitch. So if you are charging the camera, don't use that. You can turn on the gallery and let the camera stitch all the things for you. And after you charge up the camera, you will get everything perfectly stitched internally inside the camera. Okay, now let's go to the live feature. So the Pilot One was designed to be a very interesting 8K live camera for the 360 community. And the live is a killer feature for this camera. Let me show you some features of the live feature. For the pro settings, yeah, we do have ISO, exposure settings, and stitching focus. And for the settings, we have Pilot Steady. So once we enable the Pilot Steady, this live preview will have all the stabilization for us, right? You can see that. And if you lock the angle to my face, you will see that even I'm turn my camera into different orientation, the camera will lock on my face. The Pilot Steady works really great, right? As you can see that. So even I am put this camera upside down, from other side, it's also locked on my screen, right? So the Pilot enable the Pilot Steady into live. You can always lock the camera orientation. I think that is a killer feature for the live feature inside the Pilot One. And for the live options, we do have more options for you to enjoy your 8K live on the internet. But not all the platforms support 8K. Many of the platforms, for example, like the Facebook or YouTube, they only support 4K live, but that's okay. From left to right, this is the Weibo platform. It's just like a Chinese version Twitter. And this is Facebook and it's YouTube. All these social network platforms, they all support the 4K live with this Pilot One. And in this one, this link you can share with an RTMP protocol, right? So you can set this. You can go to live. In the RT, you can share the link. You can click on live and share this URL, or single URL or URL plus key. It depends on your platform. And you can push the video stream down to the internet and deliver this video format to every one of your audience. And here you have to manually type in the RTMP URL. So the keyboard is a little bit small, but yeah. If you want to make a very professional live, the RTMP URL is a very good approach for you. The definition we can see, we can push out a video stream at different level of the clarity. We have 8K full stream is unstitched, and 4K FPS or quality priority, or the HD standard or the fluent. For the codec and advanced features, we can select different bitrate. Okay. And you can also set everything to auto, and it will save you a lot of time if you are not very clear about every meaning of the settings. And you can also save a copy to internal storage. You can click on the save video, and the feature is available when the bitrate is less than 30 megabit per second. The Pilot One will automatically save a copy of your live video as internally, so you can play it back on your house. Click on Start Live, and you are good to go. Next one, let's talk about this menu. This is a Cloudbird. This is a Cloudbird platform designed specifically for the Pilot One. And you can enter your stream name, such as 001, and this camera will automatically generate an RTMP address for you and push the video stream into that website. And when you go to your OBS or some other platform, type in the RTMP address and you will receive that video stream. And you can also save different options. In this case, the best option is the 4K resolution. And you can start live, and that will tweak that video stream directly into that RTMP stress. We can also change the ISO, the exposure value, or the stitching distance on the go when you are doing a live. Right, that is another great feature about the Pilot One. You can change every one of the settings on the go, and it will be effective on the live. Click on stop. Okay. So that is all the feature about the live inside the Pilot One. So last but not least, let's go through the settings, because in the settings, there are also many things that is very interesting about this camera. So first, we will see that you can connect to the Wi-Fi, and yeah, you can also support 5G Wi-Fi. And for the LTE, you can surf internet with a cellular network. But now we didn't insert a SIM card, so this is not usable at this moment. If you have extension module, you can insert your 4G or 5G. The Pilot One also have a 5G extension module, so you can enable the 5G cellular network directly with the Pilot One camera. So this is a very advanced feature for the futuristics. You can also connect with the cable connect with the internet and set our IP address, some other the gateway or subnet mask. And at the hotspot, we can turn this Pilot One into the Wi-Fi hotspot, and we can connect with the app on our cell phone and control the camera as if we are controlling the screen on the go. You can hide somewhere else and control your camera with the app. Everything is the same as the touchscreen. Here in the bottom logo, you can set your customized logo like this and change the logo size from 4% to 30%. For screen and light, you can change the screen and can set it brighter or darker, right? Set the screen timeout, so it will auto turn down the brightness to save more battery. And the pilot lamp, when control better display the pilot lamp when working in the screen turn off state. So you can have different options. For date and time, you can set to your date correct time and set your time zone, and it will auto set your date and time inside the camera. That is also very important. Should be the first step you should deal with when you have the camera. For the language, you have the Chinese simplified or English. I hope in the future we can add more support to different languages on different countries in the world. And for storage, now for my unit, I only have a 64 GB internal storage. But for you, you can purchase 128 GB or the 512 GB internally with the UFS 2.0 very fast internal storage. And for energy saver, we can turn on because it also have a fan, right? You can turn it on or off or set to auto. For gyro calibration, if your sometimes your pilot steady is not working normally, you can recalibrate the gyro sensor by put the camera on this very stable on the table or on the ground with this like this, and click on calibrate, and that will make your pilot steady working once again. Okay, next up, you know that the Pilot Tool is running an Android-based operating system, so you can always constantly upgrade your operating system inside the camera. So you can always check the update. Be sure to have connect your camera with the Wi-Fi and check the update to receive the latest features about its camera and to make it more usable. And you can also erase all data settings. Yeah, you can reset to the factory default. About, you can see the OS version, the device name, and some warranties about your camera. And yeah, last but not least is a menu. There is a full functional menu. It's a text reader inside the camera because it's running an Android-based operating system. So it also has a secret text readers inside this camera. A very detailed written, very well written user menu. I highly recommend you go through the menu page by page, one by one, and that will help you get a very good understand about this camera. And this text reader could also go into the dark mode to help you read better in some other situation. And you can jump from chapter to chapter, and you can also see the bookmarks about this menu. You can see this is very well written, very detailed about every feature of this camera. This is a very interesting text reader inside this Pilot OS, and that will help you learn about this camera right inside the camera. That is the last feature, but I think this is a very good design, a very well written menu. You have to go through it one by one because this is explained every feature in very deep detail, right? You can see it's very long, but with bookmark you can always jump to the part you want with only one tap. Back to desktop. So this is all about the features, the user interface, the design about this camera, and with this working tour of the user interface inside this standalone one-shot 360 camera. I think you're gonna have a very deep overview about this Pilot One camera and know its capabilities of the photos, the videos, and live. In the next episode, I'm gonna share with you more about the photo capabilities about the Pilot One. And I do hope you can learn something from this video and help you achieve better results in the future with your One-Shot 360 camera. And if you like this video, please thumb up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Until next time, bye.